Don't move or I'll shoot. The gunman's scream ripped through the diner like glass shattering. Coffee cups clattered, screams filled the air, and terrified customers dropped to the floor. But behind the counter, one black waitress stood tall, her voice calm, her hand steady. From the corner booth, a billionaire watched in stunned silence, never imagining that her quiet courage and his next move would soon shock the world. The neon sign outside flickered against the midnight fog, casting a dull pink glow over the greasy windows of the diner. Inside, the place smelled of coffee, bacon, and tiredness. Amara moved quickly between booths, refilling mugs, balancing plates of pancakes and fries with practiced ease. To most, she was invisible, just another uniform, another tired face serving strangers. But beneath the apron was a woman who had weathered storms the world would never see dot at the far end. In a corner booth half hidden in shadows, a man in a dark coat sat alone. Adrian Cross, billionaire, titan of finance. He came here seeking quiet, away from the boardrooms and flashing cameras. Tonight, he wanted silence, never realizing it would be shattered in an instant. The bell above the door jingled. A figure stormed in, face hidden beneath a black ski mask, a gun gleaming in his hand. "Everybody down!" he roared. Chairs scraped violently as customers ducked under tables. A baby wailed. A fork clattered to the floor. Amara froze for half a second, then inhaled slowly. Her heart raced, but her hands steadied. She stepped back behind the counter, her eyes on the man but her body language calm. From his booth, Adrian watched with wide eyes, his pulse thundering in his ears. He was used to hostile takeovers, not this. For the first time in years, he felt powerless. The robber slammed the gun against the counter. "Cash, now." His voice cracked, desperate, unsteady. Amara opened the register, her movements deliberate, measured. Customers cowered, whispering prayers. A woman clutched her husband's arm so tightly, her knuckles turned white. The baby cried louder, the sound cutting through the thick silence. Adrian scanned the room. He could see it in their faces, pure fear, chaos, panic. Yet his eyes kept returning to Amara. Her breathing was steady, her voice even. "I'll give you what you want. Just don't hurt anyone." Amara slid the bills across the counter slowly, her gaze never breaking from the robber's eyes. Not defiant, not submissive, just steady. The gun trembled in his hands. He wasn't expecting this. He wanted screams, fear, chaos. Instead, he was confronted with composure. Adrian leaned forward, mesmerized. He had spent a lifetime around executives who postured and shouted to assert power. But this waitress, this unseen woman in a faded apron, was showing more true strength than any of them. Time slowed. The robber turned, swinging the gun toward the booth. People whimpered, ducking lower. Adrian's muscles tightened, his instincts screaming to act. But one wrong move could end everything. Then Amara spoke, her voice low but clear. "Look at me, not them. Take what you need, then leave." Her words were simple, but her tone carried weight. The kind of weight that comes from someone who has faced storms and survived. The robber hesitated, breathing hard, caught in the unexpected gravity of her calm. Sweat dripped down the robber's brow. His chest heaved. He shoved the money into his bag, muttering curses. But when he turned back, his hand shook, his finger hovering dangerously close to the trigger. The room held its breath. Amara leaned forward slightly, her voice steady as stone. "You don't have to do this. Walk away while you still can." The silence that followed was suffocating. Even Adrian, who had commanded boardrooms with billions at stake, felt his throat tighten. This wasn't business. This was life and death. Then, like a sudden break in a storm, the robber growled and backed toward the door. His bag bulged with stolen bills, his chest still heaving. The gun wavered, then lowered. He shoved the door open, disappearing into the night. The bell jingled again, mockingly ordinary after so much terror. The diner remained frozen for a beat longer. Then slowly, shakily, people began to rise. A mother hugged her child. A man sobbed openly. The baby's cries softened. The nightmare was over, but the room was forever changed. Adrian stood, his expensive coat brushing against the booth. He walked slowly to the counter where Amara leaned, her knees trembling now that it was over. She wiped the counter as if cleaning away the fear. He stared at her for a long moment before speaking. "How did you stay calm?" he asked, his voice quieter than it had been in years. Amara met his eyes, tired but unbroken. "Someone had to." 3 simple words, but they carried a truth that shook him to his core. By morning, videos of the robbery flooded the news. Customers had filmed everything: the gun, the fear, the waitress who never wavered. But the world was stunned not just by her courage, but by what Adrian Cross did next. Standing before cameras outside the diner, he declared, "I've built empires. But tonight, I saw what real leadership looks like. And it wasn't me. It was her." His words hit like a thunderclap. Headlines exploded. Social media erupted. The world had seen a billionaire humbled by a waitress. Amara became a symbol of courage overnight. Scholarships, offers, and recognition poured in. Yet she stayed the same, working her shift, greeting customers with the same tired smile. She hadn't sought fame. She had only wanted to keep people safe. And Adrian? He changed forever. No longer just a man who moved markets, he became an advocate for those unseen, those who carried strength without applause. For the rest of his life, he credited his greatest lesson not to the halls of power, but to a diner waitress who had stared down fear and stayed calm.